of their ordeal.
My mom is saying they were very friendly. They were given medicine.
Big question in the House of Representatives.
Who can get 217 votes on the floor?
Pilot faces attempted murder charges.
The sense in my area of the flight, it was panic.
Good morning. I'm Steve Kathan.
And I'm Tony DeCopel in Ashkelon, Israel, with the CBS World News Roundup. This country's military says it has dropped more than 400 bombs on Hamas targets in Gaza over the past 24 hours. The intense air campaign continuing, and with U.S. officials urging Israel to hold off a ground invasion to give more time for talks to free hostages. Came word yesterday of the release of 2 elderly Israeli women, just days after 2 Americans were turned loose. More than 200 others still being held captive. Our team coverage begins with CBS's Charlie D'Agata, who's here with me in Ashkelon.
They touched down in Tel Aviv overnight, a short flight by helicopter from Egypt. Yocheved Lifshitz and Nurit Cooper out of the hands of Hamas and into the arms of the Red Cross at the Egyptian border. I went through hell, Lifshitz said at a press conference. She described how she was kidnapped on a motorcycle. She said she was taken inside a miles-long spiderweb-like tunnel system in Gaza. They treated us gently and they met all our needs, she said. They seemed ready for this. They prepared it for a long time. She said her husband was separated from her. He is still believed to be held by Hamas, along with at least 220 more hostages.
CBS's Holly Williams has more on the information that's emerging from Gaza.
Inside Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Gaza, they're patching up the injured and saving lives. Outside, in the hospital grounds, are the dead and the grief. Around 5,000 have been killed in the Gaza Strip in just over 2 weeks of war, according to Palestinian officials. This woman shouts abuse at Hamas, blaming them for what's happening. Dangerous words in Gaza.
The UN says just a fraction of the aid that's needed in Gaza has been able to get in so far, and distribution could be affected by fuel shortages. Steve.
Tony, House Republicans are poised to pick a new nominee today as the struggle to find the next speaker drags on. CBS's Scott McFarlane on Capitol Hill says there are 7 remaining after 1 dropped out today and 1 last night.
Most are little known outside their home districts, yet whoever emerges out of this field has to win nearly every Republican vote on the House floor. In the run-up to today's secret ballot, many of the candidates were courting Donald Trump's support, including Minnesota Congressman Tom Emmer, the GOP whip. He made a call to the former president and made a post online that he looked forward to working with former President Trump. Emmer is one of only 2 candidates today who voted to certify the election of President Biden.
A pilot goes to court in Oregon today facing 83 counts of attempted murder and other charges as well. Joseph David Emerson, an off-duty pilot, is accused of trying to shut down the engines during an Alaska Airlines regional flight from Everett, Washington to San Francisco. The airline says Emerson was in the jump seat in the cockpit and was subdued by the crew. This passenger was on the flight, which was diverted to Portland.
We were told there was an event happening. We weren't told what type. So what goes through your head is a plane issue, a pilot issue, a passenger having an issue. You don't know, and I think at least the sense in my area of the flight was it was panic.
An American politician was arrested in Hong Kong for carrying a gun that was not registered there. Came after Jeff Wilson, a Republican state senator from Longview, Washington, had landed at the airport with his wife for a vacation. He calls it an honest mistake on his website. He says he did not realize the weapon was in his briefcase until he was past security in San Francisco. There's word former Trump lawyer Jenna Ellis has reached a deal with Georgia prosecutors in that sweeping election case. And in New York, former Trump attorney and fixer Michael Cohen testifying today at the former president's civil fraud trial. The Georgia Supreme Court has rejected a lower court ruling that the state's restrictive abortion law was invalid, leaving limited access to abortions unchanged for now. 4 minutes after the hour.
Well, that's today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you